Hello, everybody. All right. So, welcome to Mikestand. We have reached, of course, the middle of the week. That means Hump Day. So I hope everybody's having a good week thus far. You know, slowly but surely things are picking up as we get closer and closer to Christmas. Um, so sure that a lot of cable channels have been getting their Christmas specials together and all that. Um, we get, as I said, get closer and closer to that. Um, no, we're just waiting a few minutes to give people a chance to come in. If you haven't already, if you can if you can like and share the stream, see if we can get some more friendly people in here to engage. That'd be appreciated. Also, anything here grabs your attention, um, feel free to comment and or ask questions, and I will try to answer the questions to the best of my ability. As I said, we're just waiting a little bit to give people a chance to come in. Before we talk on get started um, on what's on tap for tonight here. Um, anyways, of course, as I said, if anything we talk about grabs your attention, feel free to comment and or ask questions. Also, if anything's on your mind now, feel free to comment and or ask questions. That's one of the things we try to do here. Is not it's not just simply just going over news stories, but it's in the hopes of course, engaging you enough to where you'd be interested enough to engage in the conversation. Hey, Rick. Hey, Rick. How you doing? Hey. Yeah. Well, now that we do have some people in here, looks like let me talk about what's on tap for tonight. So I've got a couple of stories. One of them I was initially going to go over last night, and he says, "All right, all right." Again, if you haven't already, if you can like and share the stream, see if we can get some more friendly people in here to engage, that would be appreciated. Um, Hopefully, we can, get some people in here to converse and stuff like that. Anyways, so as I was saying, I have a couple stories I'm going to go over tonight, both comics related, both Bleeding Fool. One of them I actually was going to try to hit last night, but the one story we did talk about, which was of course the Mark Millar story, um, that pretty much took a good chunk of the show. But I've got a couple of interesting stories here that are not quite as controversial, a little bit more what you might say positive. Um, so let me just tell you what those are. So from yesterday, of course, Benjamin Franklin stars in new fantasy comic with pro-American values. Let's see what that's all about. And then there's a toy news update as Todd McFarlane has announced a partnership with Hasbro. Now I don't know if you guys may have realized this, but Hasbro, of course, is kind of bridged the gap between its toy lines as well as cartoons and comics over the years. A number of different companies have done a number of different comics on Hasbro products, including Transformers, GI Joe, My Little Pony, um, and the rest. So, um, anyways, we're at 4.5 minutes now, so I guess we can get started a little tad early here. Usually we'll wait till about the 5 minute mark before getting started, but I think we're good to go here. So let's go ahead and get into the first article I was just mentioning, which is one about the Ben Franklin comic. Even this one kind of piqued my interest, especially when um, from everything I've seen and heard, I think Ben Franklin might have actually for his day, right, for the time he was in, he might have actually been considered a bit more of a liberal by how, in terms of how we. But let's take a look. take a look at this and see. And Avi Green is the one who wrote this article. So Ben Franklin stars in new fantasy comic with pro-American values. Article by Avi Green, published yesterday. Benjamin Franklin is Silence Do-Good, time travel agent. All right, let's see what this is all about here. And, okay. All right, so a writer at PJ Media commented on a comic called Ben Franklin, in smaller quotes here, Ben Franklin is Silence Do-Good time travel agent, unsmaller quote, by Sean Salter and Charles Knopf, which is reportedly built on respectable values about America and starring a famous historical figure as a teenager. Now, don't you just love stories like that when they take famous people and then either put them in maybe a more better position than like in this case, instead of focusing in on Benjamin Franklin as he was, as most people remember him or have their vision of him, seeing him as a teenager. Or as a younger man. So let's see. Now this is, I guess, from the article that Avi is relating or referring to. So here we go. Quote: I originally conceived the Silence Do Good series as a Saturday morning type cartoon. Unquote. Said Salter. Now, for those of us who are in our 40s and older, Saturday morning cartoons were kind of a big thing for us growing up, right? So maybe not as much for the 30-somethings, but definitely for those of us who are 40 and up. Let's see. Unsurprisingly, he found it nearly impossible to get pro-America projects produced in the stifling pro-left climate of Hollywood. At this point, why would you even try? At this point, why would you even try to produce something out of Hollywood, knowing that, if you're more of a right-leaning conservative creator, I say just do it independently, or find a publishing group, something, or an outlet, something like Fund My Comic, that will actually help you produce the comic. Salter chose to create a series in comic book form instead. All right, so I guess now what it's saying here is initially he wanted to make it a cartoon, but since he couldn't really get anybody to help him produce it as a cartoon, he decided to do it as a comic book instead. That's another interesting little take from this story. Let's see. And as a reminder, if you guys can like and share the stream, see if we can get some more friendly people in here to engage. Also, if anything here grabs your attention, feel free to comment and or ask questions, and we'll try to answer the best questions to the best of my ability. So with that, let's continue on here. Quote: I want to tell an original story featuring our founding fathers and the importance of protecting American freedom, unquote, Salter said. Quote: so after much thought and research, I landed on the action adventure story of a teenage Ben Franklin trapped in a VR utopia controlled by a godlike and nefarious artificial intelligence, unquote. Quote: My goal is, and this is quoting Salter, I believe here, um, quote, my goal is to tell a story that's both entertaining and thought provoking while avoiding the pitfalls of preachy modern leftist entertainment, unquote, said Salter. Quote, the only agenda here is that American freedom is awesome. America still kicks, we're in, and to consider that we may have to fight AI and maniacal robots for our very freedom someday if we don't pay attention and fight for it now. Yeah, well, we're already, well, we may not be fighting AI and maniacal robots, but I believe we're fighting an establishment, you know, an establishment group of people who are trying to maintain their power at the cost of your freedom. Okay. Um, Ultimately, it's not a story about time travel, though. It's about a dystopian future where America's founding principles have been forgotten and how or if they can be reclaimed. Unquote. We at PJ Media always look for ways to support pro America authors and artists. The Silence Do Good series is a solid way to do just that. Quote, Benjamin Franklin is Silence Dogood, time travel agent, unquote, is now available on Indiegogo and Amazon. And remember, with Christmas and Hanukkah coming up soon, it's an excellent present for the teen reader in your life. You can also support Salter and his future pro-America effort at Turkey Robot Comics and by following and sharing on Instagram and Twitter/X. So that's from the article. Now we get back to Avi here. Avi talking here. So, hmm. All right. So with that, see, unfortunately, I don't have a link to the book, or else I'd put that up. But anyways, the guys who the guys who penned this certainly had a great idea to make illustrated format. And what good at this point is Hollywood, based on where they're going. There are other parts of the country where film industries can be set up along with animation industries. Well, and we do know, and I've told you guys this before, even though things have since consolidated, when you look at the voice acting community, right? Here, even just in Canada and the U.S. alone, there were at one point 6 major, dub studios. Of course, you have Bang Zoom out here in LA. You have Funimation Dallas, even though they kind of got absorbed into Sony. You have Seraphim Digital Sounds, which is part of Sentai Filmworks in Houston. I believe you still have Headline Studios in New York, as well as I think TPCI is also still operating out of New York for the Pokemon stuff. And then up in Canada, up in Vancouver, you have Ocean Studios, and they have a subsidiary in Calgary, Blue Water. So yeah, you can set up any kind of whether it's a filming company, whether it's animation company or voice acting, and then there are a few other more minor ones as well. Like I know there are some in like some in like the Toronto area, like BLT Productions. I think it's still active up there. So that's stuff to consider, though. It's time to continue doing just that in other parts of the country. In the meantime, Salter and Knopf are doing a good deed by emphasizing positive values with their new science fiction graphic novel and deserve some admiration for that. And some notoriety too. Yeah, see, they don't have the link here, but I want to see what happened if I hit Indiegogo. Just kind of curious if that might be able to take us. Oh yeah, okay, alrighty then. Let me go ahead and copy this. All right, took a chance and it worked out. So, all right. So on that one on Salter and on like Salter and Knopf's book here. Oh yeah, let me see. What's the name of that book again? I have the Silence Do Good Time Travel Agent. So let me go ahead and put that up for you guys if you guys want to check that book out. Here's the link for that Indiegogo if you guys want to check that out. Hmm. All right, I don't know why it's not linking there, but let me try one more time here. Let me try one more time here. Don't know why it's not um why it's not setting up as a shareable link there. Oh well. I tried. All right. So, anyways, I think it's now time to okay. I guess for whatever reason, couldn't get that. So Anyways, moving on to the next story here. Let me just want to check something here because I just noticed something. I don't know if this is just simply because maybe because I had it on that particular page for a while or what, but all right, there we go. Of course, that will be tomorrow night. We'll cover the Indie Comic Showcase tomorrow night. Wondering if. Anyways, now with that, let's get to this next article here. Um, all right. So, anyways, get to this one. Toys news update. McFarlane announced partnership with Hasbro. Article by Victor James, published today. Now, mind you, I normally don't do a lot of toy collectible articles, but this has kind of a connection to, of course, Hasbro, which has some animated properties, and Todd McFarlane as well, the comic book artist. If you could go for it here, so here we go. Legendary comic and toy creator Todd McFarlane has announced a partnership with embattled toy company Hasbro to produce Page Puncher toys for their licensed product. Page Puncher, huh? That's an interesting concept. Their press release states McFarlane Toys has announced an exciting multi brand licensing agreement with leading toy and game company Hasbro, adding Transformers, Power Rangers, G.I. Joe, and Dungeons and Dragons to their Page Punchers lineup, kicking off with Transformers and G.I. Joe products. Each Page Puncher will include a full comic book and two articulated figures. I guess a page puncher is one of those things that when you're making books and stuff like that, and, you have to make pages. You basically punch the holes in the like for a notebook and all that. That's what I'm guessing. Quote, Page Punchers is an exciting program for us because it gets comic books into people's hands. Well, maybe not. Maybe I was wrong there. But anyways, along with a fun toy product, um, who might not otherwise stop or fun toy product who might not otherwise shop at comic stores. Parents enjoy them because they encourage reading and collectors like them because they provide unique and interesting character stories with articulated figures plus a full comic book in each Page Puncher's item. We offer incredible value with this brand, unquote, said Todd McFarlane, founder and CEO of McFarlane Toys. Okay. So it's not, I was thinking a hole puncher is what I was thinking they were talking about, but I guess and there you got the logos right there, Hasbro and McFarlane Toys. Um, Anyways, as we continue on here. This is good news for Hasbro and comics based on their toy lines. Very recently, Hasbro has been criticized for their poor toy quality, whereas McFarlane Toys is the opposite. Known for high quality toys with great articulation and detail. McFarlane Toys were recently um, nominated for Toy Association Awards in several categories. According to their press release, expect McFarlane Toys page punchers based off Hasbro licenses in early 2024. Check out the superhero novel uh, Fiasco of Adventures here or here. So Fiasco of Adventure. Okay, so this is just one of a book. So we'll see if we can get this now. See what happens here when we. Apparently, I guess. Oh, they went over. We went over the. So we'll just put it in as fiascos. Still too much there. All right, well, we'll try the other one then. All right, so let me try the other. Let me try the other one then. See if that one will. Got the Barnes and Noble site, I guess. All right, so why it's not allowing? Let's see. Oh, that's kind of funny. Not allowing. Apparently, it's not allowing me to share links for some reason. Or at least in a way that would Try this one more time here. Just because I'm. Alrighty then. I wonder what that's all about. Anyways. Let's see if. Okay. Now I get it. I can't do it on the YouTube page, but I can do it from the StreamYard page. Okay. So there's the one for Fiasco of so now let me go back to so there's that one. I'll go back and see if I can get the other one as well. The Benjamin Franklin one. All right, there we go with that one. So that's from the article from earlier. All right, so now I know. All right. All right. So with that, see where what? Oh, we're already at 35 minutes. So with all that hankering I did, um, yeah. So basically, a couple of interesting comments for you guys. So at the 35-minute mark now. So I think might be a good time to start. it might be a good time to start doing the wrestling recap, the wrestling wrap up, as it were. Um, actually, actually, I think we're still a little early, so maybe I will try this. Let's see, 30. Nah, I think I will try to. See, 30, yeah, let me check to see if there's any more interesting art. If anything new came. I know that the Indie Comic Showcase just came up, but we'll do that tomorrow night, of course. Let me see if anything new mounting into comics that might be of interest. Yeah, still nothing new here. All right, so I think that will be. I think it will be a good time to. All right, start winding things up a bit here. So, talk a little bit about what's been going on in pro wrestling. So, in WWE news, of course, a few little tidbits. Of course, Dragon Lee retained his recently won from this past weekend the NXT North American title over Tyler Bates. So that was that was a bit that was pretty cool. But also and a couple other a couple other little interesting little tidbits too. So recently, well, CM Punk one was backstage at NXT last night, and it was also recently reported that former NWA World Heavyweight Champion and WWE Hall of Famer Dory Funk, 82 years young, as it were, um, he stopped by to NXT recently and was backstage to interact with the fan. In both cases, both these men, of course, like to kind of try to pass their knowledge on to the younger crowd. And of course, CM Punk was at NXT last night because a lot of the guys are NXT kind of grew up watching him. So there to kind of share his bit of wisdom with them. Um, and in some other more, I guess, sadder news, if you want to call it that, if depending on if you're a fan of his or not. Sometimes in the category of sometimes how the mighty have fallen, right? Former WWE champion Alberto Del Rio was at a show recently where he where he it was basically it was a local indie show in Dallas where he was basically wrestling at a high school gym. Saying that this was a man who 5-10 years ago was headlining major arenas, and now he's doing his best to get work in just high school gyms. You know, that's kind of a significant drop off when you think about it. So, let's see. In AEW news, of course, well, tonight, of course, is Dynamite. Dynamite, let's see, of course, has the Continental Classic tournament going on. You have basically three gold league matches and a blue league match. Blue league match looking to try to so on tonight's Dynamite you have the two point leaders in the Gold League taking on each other, John Moxley and Swerve Strickland. And Mark Briscoe and Jay Lethal are still looking to get on the board as Mark Briscoe's taking on Jay White and Jay Lethal's taking on Rush. In a Blue League matchup, two of the three top guys in the Blue League, Andrade El Idolo and Brody King, are also matching up on Dynamite tonight to get everybody caught up with three matches apiece for Friday. And then in two other matches, Riho will be taking on Ruby Soho, and Roderick Strong with Mike Bennett and Matt Taven in his corner will be taking on Adam Page. So now it's also been reported that AEW might be having some issues right now. Well, of course, they always seem to have issues, but in this particular case, seems like they may be getting in the red a little bit. Argue whether or not it's sustainable with such a bloated roster and not enough talent. And there is talk that they're trying to sign Nick Nemeth, formerly known as Dolph Ziggler from WWE fame. Of course, Nick's brother Ryan Nemeth is still a talent in AEW, I believe. They use him on occasion. But yeah, things are, and there was recently a report by WrestleMania about the decline of AEW. Now, granted, I don't believe they're declining yet, but they do seem to be heading in that direction if they don't change course soon. So with that, that's all the wrestling news I have for you. So today is Wednesday, December 13th, 2023. So why don't we go ahead and take a look back this day in each history. History! All right, so with that being said, let's go ahead and get to this. First off, we're going to go back 80 years ago, as on this date, 80 years ago today, the 35th issue of Captain America Comics went on sale on this date back 80 years ago today. Of course, it was set on sale by what we know of today as Marvel. At the time, was being published by Complete Photo Story Corporation. Sold for 10 cents, was 56 pages. At that point, you had three Captain America features of the Gargoyle Strikes, the Steel Mask, and the Case of the Horror Money. With a Human Torch, and I believe that's the Android Human Torch story, Mystery of the Horrible Hermit, in there. So 80 years ago today, the 35th issue of Captain America Comics went on sale from Complete Photo Story Corporation, known today as Marvel. So with that, moving on to 1993. On this date in 1993, WWE held its Monday Night Raw event from the Mid-Hudson Civic Center in Tuskegee, New York. Tonight's on the main event, Bret Hart defeat the Brooklyn Brawler in 4 minutes 20 seconds. Rick Martel defeated Tim McNeely in exactly 3 minutes. Let's see. Smoking Guns, Bart and Billy Gunn defeated The Messenger and Steve Smythe. And the show opened with Randy Macho Man Savage defeating Fatu of the Head Shrinkers. Fatu, more people know him, probably most people know him better as Rikishi. So, Jim Messenger. I thought it was The Messenger. But anyways, so 30 years ago today, WWF Raw from the Mid-Hudson Civic Center in Tuskegee, New York. All right. So with that, let's see now. Let's got a couple more pieces of niche history to go over real quick before we get ready to head out. Let's see. On this date, back in 2008, 15 years ago today, Warner Brothers Animation released premiered on ABC Family. Warner Brothers Animation produced a Miser Brothers Christmas, which is said to be a spin-off special based on characters from the 1974 Rankin Bass special, The Year Without a Santa Claus. So 15 years ago today, a Miser Brothers Christmas premiered on ABC Family 15 years ago today, back in 2008. And with that, 2008 is just so nice that we're going to hit it twice. As also on this date, 15 years ago today, Pierrot's Bleach Fade to Black premiered in Japanese theaters on this date 15 years ago today. This date 15 years ago today, Pierrot's Bleach Fade to Black premiered in Japanese theaters. So with that, I thank everybody for being here. I hope everybody enjoyed the show. We'll be back here tomorrow night. Of course, we'll be doing the Indie Comics Showcase from Bleeding Fool, and then Friday, of course, Rick Piper will be with me as we will be looking back to January 1940, going over comics that went on sale from Archie Comics, at the time known as MLJ Enterprises. So with that, I thank everybody for being here, and I hope to see everybody back here tomorrow. Bye.